This is noCASH. It's a BIOS replacement or expansion. It has settings. You can set it up so it'll boot menu, so it will pause the game in case you might want to change any of these settings. Now, there's games like Rapid Reload where sometimes when you boot them up, you can also use a Game Shark to fix this issue, but the game will skip. So you can change the video output on your console to either 50 Hertz or 60 Hertz. Audio output, sometimes people actually want mono because either one, they're setting, they just coming out of maybe a sound bar. Sometimes sound bars and maybe receivers, the actual surround sound mix actually sounds better with mono because of the digital separation that the receiver can do. A lot of people don't realize that. People with Nintendos have found that the audio output can be amazing when they up mixes, versus some stereo mixes sound horrible when you up mix them. Card sector frame, pad analog mode. So you can have it set so it just keeps your automatically will turn your analog controller on so you don't have to hit the damn button. I've had that happen where the game will actually, you have to reboot the game because there's issues, because the game, you hit the button at the wrong time or you turned it on while it was booting up. You can swap the mouse button if you're using a mouse. The threshold. And debug messages. This is noCASH. I've showed how to flash it through Unirom. You can also do it with NV Flash. Now what it can do is, first off, the best part, it has the fastest memory card manager I think that is available. This is one thing I want to show you right here. Going from slot 1 to slot 2 in the OEM memory card manager, there's like a delay. No delay. You can select, your memory cards instantly and do instead of doing a copy all, you can do only half if you want to. And you don't have to, there's like a remnant, it's almost like a trash folder in Windows of some of the save files, and it can cause problems, confusing. It can confuse you later if you're trying to do a backup of any of your saves, and this just makes it so much easier. This is by far the best memory card manager, like I was saying. The settings, if you have a mouse, you're gonna love this. This might probably the best. Threshold options, you can swap the buttons around if you're left-handed. Audio, if you want to do mono, like you have like a receiver that has up mix, you might actually like mono better. Video, there's games that skip, like Rapid Reload. You can go to PAL video output so you don't get skipping issues. Power up, this is for noCASH itself in case you don't want the CD to auto boot. Because normally if you just put a CD in, turn your console on, this is a BIOS replacement. So it just boots the game up. It doesn't, kind of like if it was a stock BIOS, Unirom sits on the game unless you actually set it to boot. So that's how that works. I do wish that triangle would take you backwards. That's the only thing that, critique I have. This is how you get back to disk to boot the game. That audio distortion is normal. Now, this is a ROM hack. Not only is it an import, which you can't play on NTSC consoles, American consoles, it is an English translation. So there's two reasons that, you need a modified console to play this game. It's beautiful pixel art. You have access to That's one thing. It's one-hit kills. You know, it's kind of bullet hell style. I recommend Game Shark for this game. And if you're playing a import or ROM hack, it's not easy to use Game Shark, custom Game Shark codes. I'm gonna have another video on that. So I'll show you how you can add custom Game Shark codes. But this is just a beautiful game. Okay, I'm booting up Wild Arms 2. Normal audio distortion, you know, Sony Computer Entertainment of America. Damn contrails. These things are poisoning our children. If the game will ever... Okay, so there's a software termination. There's a problem. Wild Arms 2 will not boot with noCASH. So not a problem. There is a switch that noCASH supports. You turn that down, as I showed on the flash video, you can restart the console. You gotta turn the lid up though. Turn the switch down, it deactivates the BIOS expansion. Right, so there's a few games, it's maybe, I know it's under 12. It will not boot with noCASH. So for the most part, 98% of games will boot fine. So what I do is I leave FreePSX boot in slot 2, and I just flip that switch if I need to get into FreePSX boot. Now Tonyhax fortunately will boot Wild Arms with no issues. Memory card exploit takes longer. You know, this does not boot as fast. You have to go into the OEM menu. Your lid has to be up. You have to select memory card. So for most games, I just want noCASH or some other software exploit to take over the BIOS instead of have to go into this every time. See, exactly my point. And then I gotta remember to shut the lid. I didn't shut it completely, so look, it failed. Now I have to do a reset. Another reason why, you know, you really, it's just better. It's better to have a, you know, Softmod in the back of your console. So anyway, now we're booting up Tonyhax. So we were in noCASH. We went into Tonyhax. Let's see if Wild Arms 2 starts. Here's the contrails. It even shows a little thing just like a chemtrail. I don't know if any of you guys know about cloud busting. And Wild Arms 2 starts. So for 98% of games, you're gonna want, you know, of noCASH or some other sort of BIOS replacement, but on games that won't boot, you can have a backup for PSX boot. So yeah, I mean, Tonyhax has the, you know, the most game support, but the problem is that it has no utilities like noCASH or Unirom has. So you got to pick one, softmod wise. Anyway, thanks guys.